The players picked in the 2022 NFL Draft are already making their mark in the league, but still, many of these first-year players haven't had a chance to show what they can do yet, either because of injuries or because more experienced players are ahead of them on the depth chart. With that being said, let's look at the 2022 NFL rookies we'd like to see more of down the stretch. First up, Velus Jones Jr., Chicago Bears. In Matt Eberfluss's first year as head coach of the Chicago Bears, it's clear that the offense is still being built. When you see how fast and quick Velus Jones Jr. is, when he returned a kick for 55 yards against the Falcons, and you wonder why he isn't more involved in the offense. Jones was one of the receivers they added this offseason, but he hasn't been used at all in the offense. This season, he has only 5 targets, and he hasn't played more than 15 offensive snaps in a game yet. The Bears counted on Darnell Mooney a lot, and they traded for Chase Claypool to help out on the outside. Jones's speed and quickness, on the other hand, would make him a great choice for jet sweeps, screens, and the quick game. Now is a good time to give him a chance and see what he does with it. Coming up, Desmond Ridder, Atlanta Falcons. When Marcus Mariota is at quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, the team's offense is, well, just fine. But recently, Mariota's flaws have become more obvious. After losing to the Los Angeles Chargers and the Carolina Panthers in a row, head coach Arthur Smith had to say that there was no reason to think that there was a quarterback controversy on the way. Since their quarterback options are so limited, it's hard to see the Falcons doing much to get into the playoffs at this point. Desmond Ridder, who was picked in the 3rd round, could at least help the offense. The quarterback hasn't played yet, but he has a strong athletic background and did well during the preseason. Rappaport said that the Falcons staff is happy with how he has changed. The Falcons are only a half game behind the Bucs in the race for the wild card, and it's time to see what Ridder can do for them. What's more, Rachaad White, Tampa Bay Buccaneers? We saw what a Tampa Bay backfield with Rachaad White in charge might look like, and it wasn't pretty for opposing defenses. Leonard Fournette hurt his hip, so the 3rd-round pick took over as the team's main running back. He answered with 105 yards on 22 carries, showing that while he's able to catch the ball out of the backfield, he's also a good traditional runner. White ran for 100 yards for the first time since Week 1, and most importantly for the Bucs, he helped them beat the Seahawks 21-16. And then, before Fournette got hurt, he started over, so this change was probably in the making. But the game's results and White's play should speed up the move to White as the top back in the offense. To be honest, he's the most dynamic ball carrier right now, and his presence will keep Fournette healthy and fresh for the rest of the season and the playoffs. Up next, Sam Williams, Dallas Cowboys. Even though the Cowboys are trying to make the playoffs, Sam Williams has shown that he deserves more playing time. Williams was taken in the 2nd round, but players like Aiden Hutchinson, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Trayvon Walker were picked before him. But then, in a small number of games, he's shown that he can get after quarterbacks in the NFL. With 3 sacks, he's tied for 2nd place among all rookies. The most amazing thing about this is how little he has played up until now. So far, the player from Ole Miss has played no more than 27% of the snaps in all but 1 game. Sports Info Solutions says that he made himself known by putting pressure on 13.6% of those snaps. Moving on to Jelani Woods, Indianapolis Colts. Jelani Woods was one of the 2022 draft's most interesting prospects. In 3 seasons at Oklahoma State, he didn't do much, but in 1 season at Virginia, he caught passes for 598 yards and scored 8 touchdowns. Then, at 6'7", 259 pounds, he ran the 40-yard dash in 4.61 seconds and got a perfect 10 out of 10 on the relative athletic test. You see, in the NFL, it can take a long time to learn how to play tight end. When a rookie moves up to the next level, blocking can often slow his or her progress. Woods has still found a way to make a difference when he's on the field, though. This season, he has scored 3 touchdowns, including 2 in the Colts' win over the Kansas City Chiefs, which was one of the few bright spots for the team. Let's look at Devontae Wyatt, Green Bay Packers. Right now, their defense is 15th in EPA per play, according to the 33rd team, and 21st in the defensive part of ESPN's Football Power Index. The team is 4-7 and just lost to the Tennessee Titans by 10 points on Thursday Night Football. This should end the team's chances of making the playoffs, but Wyatt only played 15 snaps against the Titans, which was a career high for him. Wyatt has gotten an overall grade of 66.0 for PFF PFF and has made 8 tackles and stopped a pass in this small sample size. Those aren't amazing numbers, but the veterans of the team aren't setting the world on fire either. At this point, it would be best for the Packers to get as many young players as possible and work on their defense so they can do well in 2023. If they played White a little more, that would help. Following up, Nakobe Dean, Philadelphia Eagles. It was strange that Nakobe Dean wasn't picked until the 3rd round of the draft. To be honest, the slide still doesn't make sense. The Georgia linebacker was one of the team's leaders and best athletes. He played on one of the best Bulldogs defenses as far as we can remember. Even B-Scouting, ours department, put him at number 21 on the final big board because he's athletic, smart, and can make plays all over the field. He didn't get picked until number 83 in the 3rd round, and the Philadelphia Eagles were happy to take him. During the draft, Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network said that Dean's draft stock dropped because of a pec injury. Reuben Frank of NBC Sports said that Dean is learning to play 2 positions and that his intelligence has truly amazed the Eagles coaches. Next, Dameon Pierce, Houston Texans. According to Next Gen Stats, an amazing 42.6% of Pierce's rushes end up better than expected. He's getting almost a yard per carry against the average player at his position in the league, and his offensive line is pretty good at best. But the Texans are running most of their plays up the middle, like the Buccaneers, even though the interior of their line is the weakest part right now. Pierce's runs have an exciting, threatening kind of violence to them. For example, he broke 17 tackles in one game against the Jaguars and 58 tackles overall this season, even though he has a season-high 6 targets in the passing game. Pierce is the kind of hard-working, pace-setting running back the Texans can build their offense around. Not to mention Jack Jones, New England Patriots. After Jackson signed with the Los Angeles Chargers in free agency, they will have to rely on development once again to find a star player. Jack Jones, who was picked in the 4th round, seems to be making his case early. ESPN's Mike Rice has been a big fan of Jones. On June 12th, he wrote that his outside coverage was sticky and he could try to be a starter. Herm Edwards and Marvin Lewis are both former NFL head coaches who coach defense. That coaching seems to have paid off because Jones started at cornerback opposite Jalen Mills at mandatory minicamp. Jones was the 2nd cornerback picked by the Patriots in the draft. Now he doesn't have to be an all-pro corner in year 1 for the Patriots. Even if he doesn't become a starter, getting him in the 4th round is a great deal. Finally, Isaiah Likely. Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens need players who can catch passes, and they may have found one in Isaiah Likely, who they picked in the 4th round. The Athletic's Jeff Zebrick said that the 6'4", 235-pound tight end made several plays that make him stand out during OTAs. That's important because Jackson skipped the optional OTAs and didn't join the team until the required minicamp. Pro Football Focus says that Likely spent almost half of his snaps in the slot in 2021. The fact that he and Jackson got along quickly could be a big sign of things to come. He was probably the 2nd tight end that the team picked. At number 128 in the 4th round, Charlie Kolar was picked, but at this point, it seems like the player from Coastal Carolina seems like he could be a steal. Well, that's a wrap for this video. So what other 2022 NFL rookies do you want to see more down the line? Let us know in the comments below. Also, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, and we'll see you in the next one.